Good afternoon, folks, and thanks for joining us. My name's Tim Wheaton, joined by a special guest. You'll be fighting on May 5th at 1 on Prime Video, 10 on Prime Video. You're going to be fighting Jackie Buntan. Diandra Martin, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you know me, hanging out, doing the job, the usual stuff. So when did you arrive? I know you flew in from Australia to Colorado. How recently did you arrive?
2 days ago. So on the Monday we arrived.
How are you feeling? That's a long flight. It's a lot of jet
Yeah.
lag.
To be honest, I'm feeling fine. So the first day was a bit off and dealing with the altitude, but after yesterday, I was perfectly fine.
How do you handle a flight like that? That's not a small measure. That's a big thing. A flight that long is like being in a fist fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically to try and get onto the time difference, I stayed up the night before and then slept on the plane. So then when I woke up, it was 6 a.m. here.
Oh, just perfect. Planning
Yeah.
ahead, absolutely love to see it.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're planning for your upcoming fight against Jackie Buntan. How was training getting ready? What's the game plan for this fight coming in?
Training's going really well. So I'm just basically trying to stick to what I've been doing in Australia and just bring it over here, and just training with my coach, Kieran, who has come with me, and just doing my strength and conditioning and things like that.
Hey, absolutely fantastic. And it seems like you are really coming into your own. Congratulations on the most recent win over Amber Kitchen.
Thank
How
you.
did it feel? How did you feel in the cage? All that good stuff.
It felt great. I felt more comfortable in the cage, getting used to the little gloves, which is good. They're very exciting. So it was good to get the win over Amber, especially her being a big name.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of big names, so if you win at 1 on Prime Video 10, uh, then you would have beaten Amber Kitchen and Jackie Bunton in a row. You would be in line to avenge your loss to Smilla Sundell. Is that
Yeah.
what you want next, or do you want to fight your former idol, Iman Barlow?
I would love to fight Iman before Smilla. Iman would be a really good test, but Smilla is always going to be the goal because she's got the belt at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. It seems like with Sundell, she came into one championship, and in all honesty, like all of us are into Muay Thai and kickboxing. None of us had any idea who she was, right?
Yeah. See, I followed Smilla when she first kind of started, because I followed a fair bit of the Muay Thai scene, especially in Thailand, and I knew that she was really good. She did come to Australia, and I was able to watch her live, which was really good. But then I knew that she was quite strong and quite tall. I didn't expect her to be taller than me. That was a bit of a surprise. But yeah, she's very strong. She's very accurate with her punches, and you saw that with her fight against me and also Jackie as well. So it'd be great to have a rematch against her.
But the ultimate game plan: defeat Jackie Bunton, Amon Barlow, and then Smila
Yeah,
Sundell in that order. Is that correct?
yeah,
You're gonna have a busy 2023. This is gonna be a hell of a 2023,
right.
right?
It's gonna be awesome.
And it's gonna start here on May 5th. A lot of fighters wanted to be on this U.S. card. You were selected for this one. What does it mean
Yeah.
fighting in the United States?
Oh, it's amazing. Like this is the first time being in the States, so it's just kind of like a dream come true. I get to tell people that I'm getting flown to America to compete, and not a lot of people can say that, to be honest. So it's amazing. It's still surreal for me.
Oh, it's so cool. It's the best. How long are you staying in the country? Are you traveling around, or are you flying right home afterwards?
We're flying right home after, but we're able to do a bit of travel while we're in between training and things like that. So
Where are you heading out to? That's a beautiful area up there.
we're not sure. We're looking around. There was an outdoor sort of concert area that we were going to have a look at. We're going to go to some basketball games, so we'll see how it goes. I wanted to go to an NFL game, but they're not in season at the moment. So
Hey, that's fair. You are a huge fan of sports. I understand coming up before Muay Thai, you were
yeah,
in soccer and hockey. Is that correct?
yeah, yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about this. And then you got into Muay Thai. It was like a bring your buddy to the gym day or something like that?
Yeah, it was. So I was always a sporty kid when I was younger. I just liked trying different things. So I did a fair bit of soccer and then tried hockey.
Mm.
And I really liked it. But I felt in the sport division with a team sport, I didn't feel that I was progressing as much as I'd like. And so I decided to do individual sports. So I did a bit of athletics, really liked, long distance running, sprinting sprinting along with like high jump and things like that. And then my friend was like, come join this. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I've always wanted to try a combat sport, had no idea what Muay Thai was, went in, did my first session. And then after they were like, oh, would you like to stay and spar? And me being like, oh, this is it. Like I'm gonna broken nose, black eye, something like that. But it was really good. Everyone was super friendly. And then I realized like the culture behind a combat sport isn't always going to be, you know, just violence. Like so it's so fun. And it's funny whenever I tell people, you know, I do Muay Thai and I compete, they look at me and they're just like, oh, but you're not a mean person. I was like, you don't have to be a mean person. Like I'm a competitive person, but you can be a nice person and still punch someone in the face if that.
Well, yeah, because Muay Thai is much more. It is of the martial arts background where
Yeah.
this is a lot more to do with respect and honor and that sort of stuff. But ultimately, it is just a sport. And spending a lot of time in the gym with other people there, do you see a difference? Maybe it's some people's first day where they think they're going to get in a fight versus the experienced people who are thinking like, oh, this is just a sport. Do you know what I'm getting at here?
Yeah. You notice it mainly with ego. So you'll see people who you know, who just come into the gym and then you're like, I want to fight, I want to, like their ego is quite big. Yeah, so basically you know, at our gym we've got like a rule of no egos because there's no point of having an ego. Everyone's there for the same reason, you know, they want to have fun or they want to compete. And if you want to compete, you have to work with your partners. If you've got an ego and you're just wanting to go around and bash people, no one would really want to spar you. No one would really want to train with you. And that's where that ego aspect has to be kind of like thrown out the window. Like, yeah, you have to have confidence going into like any fighting sport or combat sports. Yes, you have to, you know, think highly of yourself to be able to go in, because if you have a doubt in your mind, that can always, you know, creep in, stuff like that. But with ego, it's, you know, there's not really a place for it, I guess.
Well, absolutely. And I think one thing that's particularly challenging, I think, is hearing all this. I think it's hard for a lot of women to step in the gym because it can be very intimidating for a lot of the reasons that you just listed. Of like a lot of those people do have egos. Not everyone in the gym has the same attitude as you. So a lot of women who maybe are intimidated for going to
Yeah.
the gym, especially combat sports, what advice would you pass on to them?
Just try it. Go with a friend and try it. So many gyms are now doing women's only classes, which is a really good segue to, you know, see what the gym culture's like, see what, you know, Muay Thai or combat sports like. So we have a women's class at our gym. And so you're able to go in, you know, bring a friend, you train. You're not going to hit each other in the face. You're going to do pad rounds. You're going to do, you know, you'll usually, when you start, go on a one-on-one session with one of the coaches and they'll take you through everything, and that will help with your confidence, because you don't want to just be thrown into class and they're just like jab and you're like, what is a jab? Like, what is this word that you're telling me? So it's good that you've gone through, you know, this is a jab, this is a cross, this is a kick, this is what this is, and things like that. So you get that confidence. And usually you'll see females start in the females class and then they'll start branching out to the other classes and mingling with people. And that's a really good way to get, you know, more females into the gym and then into, you know, training and potentially competing down the line.
Absolutely awesome. And look at you entered this sport on a bring your friend. Look at you now.
Yeah.
We're talking about fighting for a title, fighting idols.
Yeah.
Like it's an awesome thing. We've come a long
Yeah.
way now. And speaking of, so one championship is going to be on Prime Video on May 5th. If this is the debut event in the US, and it's going to be a big one. So let me get your prediction for the main event. Demetrius Johnson is looking to defend his title against Adriano Moraes. This is the trilogy. What do you make of this fight?
See, it's really hard because, you know, I watched it live and see, I'm sitting on the fence for this one because it's like one apiece. So I'm going to say it's going to go to decision, but it can go either way. That's what I'm gonna sit on the fence for this one.
That is such a fence pick. You're like not even flying knee. Decision. It might be
No,
one or the other.
just decision, one or the other.
Hey, that is absolutely fair. It's going to be a high flying event. Looking forward to it. And let me ask you as well, because you are a very sporty person. You are a trained physio. How do you compare a lot of the injuries that you see in sports such as Muay Thai or MMA compared to other sports? Like I've heard a lot of people say that Muay Thai, weirdly enough, is safer than compared to like rugby or even jogging. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, so I'm an exercise physiologist, which is slightly different to a physio. So instead of doing like injury, like acute injuries, I tend to do subacute and chronic, so further down the line after the inflammation stage and things like that. But it is true, I don't see that many injuries within Muay Thai. And I guess because, you have to think of with any form of like combat sports, or not combat sports, any contact sports, you have to think of the momentum and the speed behind the contact, things like that. With rugby and things like that, you learn how to tackle and you learn how to get tackled. But with Muay Thai, you really learn how to defend yourself. And I think that's the main difference. So you're learning to check, you're learning to guard, you're learning to move and things like that. And you're also mentally prepared to get hit. So you know that you're going to get hit. So you don't see too many concussions, or you don't see too many, broken bones or injuries and things like that. You might see overuse injuries from people going too hard, too fast, but that's usually at the beginning stage. Then you can manage it a bit well. And I love the fact that I know so much about, rehab and injuries and things like that, because I use that for myself. So if I know that I've got a niggle, I know exactly what I need to do to be able to keep competing and keep training.
Absolutely awesome. So coming into this fight, we can say your health and weight absolutely paramount. Is that right?
Yeah, it's great. It's going well.
Awesome stuff. May 5th is the fight. You're going to be fighting Jackie Buntan. Talk us on out of here. Shout out who you need to shout out. Thank any sponsors you need to have. Please, last word goes to you.
So I'd like to thank my sponsors, so Primo and True Protein. I'd also like to thank my coach, one of my strength and conditioning coaches, Al from Romero's or Rise back in Canberra. A massive thanks to all of my friends and family from Canberra and everyone that I train at Muay U. A massive shout out to both San and my head coach, Kieran, who's here with me. Both of them have helped me so much with my training. Kieran's come over a week early just to help me acclimatize to the altitude and things like that. So I'm really appreciative of it.
Hey, best of luck in the upcoming fight. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.